Welcome to Heart, where we talk about games, movies, and animes, young and old. And today I'm going to be rounding out. And today we're going to be talking about my top 5 movies of 2024. The year 2024. Honestly, really good year for movies. Like, there was a lot of good ones. And though I haven't seen a ton of movies, like, I watched a lot of older movies, I guess. I watched all of the Alien movies, most of the Predator movies, almost all the Spider-Man movies, Pirates of the Caribbean. I watched The Lighthouse. That was so good. The Lighthouse. That's my first shout out. That's my first shout out for 2024 movies, is a movie from 2019, The Lighthouse. So good. Great movie. Go watch it. So I guess with that, I'm just going to start this list by saying I'm not putting Dune on this at all. And I just feel the need to say that. I only recently watched Dune. I watched 1 and 2 back to back. It was kind of crazy. It was really long. And obviously, they're good movies. What am I even going to say about them? Like, they're good. I don't know what to tell you. But for me, honestly, there's just better films. There's just better movies this year that are just standalone movies that, like, I think when Dune is done, their trilogy or whatever they plan to do, then in total it'll be immaculate. You know what I mean? It'll be phenomenal. Film viewers will be speaking about it for years. I get it. So that is my first honorable mention. Dune 2. Man, honestly, I watched, like, the movies I did watch, they're all really good. I'm having a tough time deciding how I want to order this. For number 5, I want to go with Heretic. I really enjoyed this movie. It kind of was a risk. I wasn't really sure what I was getting into. I knew it, I watched a couple trailers. Right from the first, like, lines of dialogue, it just catches you off guard, and it kind of just keeps doing that for the whole movie. And I really like the mystery of it all. It plays itself really well, I think. It's basically these 2 Mormon missionaries are going door to door doing their thing, and they go to this one guy's house, and he ends up inviting them in, and from there the mystery starts. Like, it actually starts pretty quick. The intensity begins, and you're already feeling off right from the moment those girls go into his house. You know something's off. So yeah, this one caught me off guard a couple times. I really like that. I thought the writing was good. Heretic, that's my number 5. I highly recommend it. Now, my number 4 on this list will be Monkey Man. This is a one-man army type of movie, vengeance story. This one definitely is a John Wick inspired, one of those type of movies, but it finds a way to be like exactly that. Like, it's inspired by these, but it very much has its own personality, its own footprint in these types of movies. It's very distinguishable amongst them all. It has its own identity, is really what I'm trying to say. The acting kept me in on this one. The plot is fairly simple and doesn't beat around the bushes too much, and it just kind of like, it's just straight to it, And I do think that the story that's being told here is more of like a personable story. It's more, I think, relatable than some of the other one-man army type of situations. So I really like that a lot. And the main character, played by Dev Patel, like, that guy's great. It's his directorial debut. Fucking awesome. I hope I said his name right. If I didn't, I very much apologize. But yeah, Monkey Man, number 4. Highly recommend. So let's go back to an honorable mention of my dear love, right to my heart, Godzilla, Kong, New Empire. That shit fucking slapped. Like, I loved that movie so much. It had me so happy. And I wanted to give it an actual number on this list, but I just thought, you know what, I'll just put it higher up on my honorable mentions, which means something. This list was out of 10. This fucking movie's on it, boys. This movie is on it, and it's high up there, okay? I promise you that, because it slaps. Fucking Godzilla from the top ropes. Movie makes me feral, man, and that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of all of this. Like, this movie makes me feel things, and it's just intensity for a giant lizard slapping the shit out of a monkey, but then them working together to fight a bigger lizard and a bigger monkey, and then them slapping the shit out of them. It's perfect. It's cinema. It's golden. Godzilla x Kong New Empire. Highly recommend. So this is where we get a little spicy. I think I'm going to have to hand out some tiebreakers here for the next couple. But my number 1 spot is my number 1, and that is undebatable. But my 3 and 2 spot, there may be a couple films in there. So for my top 3 movies of 2024, my number 3 spot is going to 2 movies, Longlegs and Alien Romulus. Now, Longlegs was incredibly unexpected. I had no idea what I was going into. Even I watched the trailers and I just did not realize that it's like a detective Satan type of movie thing. So already I was going into it in the unknown. But Longlegs is definitely a little spooky one. Nick Cage plays the character Longlegs, and it's a little bit insane. Puts on a pretty sick, pretty wild performance. I don't even know unrecognizable in that role in good ways and in bad, I guess. But I guess because it's a detective film, like, it does a good job of keeping you in the dark. You're not really sure exactly where we're going to go to next. Certain clues, they give you certain clues, certain false hopes into, a lot of red herrings, things like that. And that's a movie where on like the second, third watch, you're going to notice more and more every time you rewatch, and that'll just make the viewing experience even better. But definitely can be unsettling and has some disturbing scenes. So, but with that, Longlegs, number 3 spot, highly recommend. Now, my other number 3 movie, Alien Romulus. Fuck, I was so hyped for this. I rewatched all the Alien movies this year after Alien Romulus because I really wasn't sure if it was going to be good. I didn't want to get my hopes up. Some of the other movies were weird. I have all of the Alien movies reviewed on my channel, so go watch them if you want my opinions on that. But my opinion on Alien Romulus, it's a great movie. I absolutely love it. I love the practical effects. I love some of the digital effects stuff they added in. I love the setup is pretty like quick and dirty. I like when things just get like right to the point, and then the rest of the movie is just intensity. And the xenomorph in this movie is really smart, and I like that. It's very much hunting them. And there's a specific scene that many people know about that highlights this tactic of the xenomorph. And I don't want to give it away because it's very good. This is a cast of up-and-coming actors and I feel like we're going to be seeing some of these actors in more movies to come. Like, this was a young cast, new actors on the scene, and they all did a phenomenal job. Especially the two leads did such a good job, and the chemistry between all the characters was very good. Like, I love Alien movies, so I can't even really harp on it that much. Maybe I'm being a little biased, but I just love them so much. They're so good. And this one looks so good. It was paced so well. It was so good. Alien Romulus, number 3 spot. Highly recommend. Okay, so now my number 2 spot is also a tie. I am going to, this was a hard one. These 3 movies here, because it's a tie of the 2 and then my number 1, that's almost my top 3. Really, this list could have just been a list out of 10, but numbers doesn't even matter. My number 2 spot, we're going to start with The Substance. What else can I even say other than all these movies are just so good? Like, it's just so good. The Substance, another one that just caught me off guard constantly, but the way it's shot, the audio cues, the random comedy in it, the plot, like, just everything was just so good. And it's just so layered as well, with like real world stuff along with the movie, that I don't really want to talk about too much because I don't want to give away any of these movies, because I want you to watch all of them because they're all fucking great. But those are the things that make it so good, or like I think are like the layered parts and kind of the real world implications when you start to think about it. And I guess it's really more that it's actually very relatable and something that like the thing in The Substance definitely happens. Like, the whole idea of being like an aging star, just wanting to be young again, like the lengths that you'll go to keep your stardom, like body dysmorphia, and the way that Hollywood portrays women, the way that men abuse their power as producers and abuse the whole system in Hollywood. Like, it's just it's so fucking good. It's so good. So good. You gotta watch these movies, please. So in one of my number 2 spots, we have The Substance. Highly recommend. Phenomenal movie. We're almost done, I swear. My other number 2 movie, Nosferatu. At this point, you gotta be wondering what my number 1 movie could be after I've named all of these bangers. It's like, what could possibly be better than Nosferatu? And honestly, not much. Objectively speaking, anyways. Because this movie, in a technical standpoint, may be one of the best movies I've ever seen. I just was fucking floored. It was so good. It's so beautiful. Gothic horror just might be my new thing now. It's just so good. The way everything looks is beautiful. The way his hand reached over the city in the shadows was so fucking good. I guess that makes us neighbors now. Like, just so fuck. Because though this movie was actually scary, very suspenseful, holy shit, it was intense. There were random comedy scenes like that. I feel like I don't have to get into what Nosferatu is about. It's Nosferatu. I didn't know that Nosferatu, though, was like the plague bringer. I didn't realize that. But I did know that Nosferatu is like Dracula, Nosferatu is like the vampire, the guy. He's the dude. So I guess that basically is really all you need to know. But it is like a remake of, but the way that it is portrayed in this movie, oh my God, is so good. It's so beautiful. I feel terrible if you don't watch this movie in theaters. That's just a missed opportunity, because this is a movie you got to see in theaters. I'm seeing it in like whatever one, what has like 4D, or no, not 4D, that'd be weird. No, it'd be probably kind of cool in like a 4D or something like that, but I'm talking more about just surround sound. I don't know, just more intense. Just go to a movie theater and see this movie. Obviously movies aren't out in theaters as long anymore, so if you got to watch it at home, watch it at home. But this is definitely Nosferatu in my number 2 slot. Definitely a movie you cannot miss. This is a must watch. You got to watch it. Number 1, oh, what fun. My number 1 movie of 2024 that I've been waiting my entire fucking life for. Mostly 2 years, but all the time before that I was waiting. I just didn't think they'd ever do it. Sonic the Hedgehog 3, baby. Shadow the fucking Hedgehog. And yes, I will admit, I just named a ton of phenomenal movies, undeniably, objectively good movies. But this movie made me feel so fucking happy. I don't give a shit about any of the other movies. I will watch this movie every day for the rest of my life if I could. This is a movie that I would watch again and again and again. And since I have watched it, I've been looking for it. I can't fucking find it. I don't want to spend like $30 and buy it, but I will, and I'm gonna, because I want it so bad, and I want to watch it again. I want to experience Shadow the Hedgehog once again on my couch with my cats, so we can all experience this beautiful thing together. I really hope they do. I know they're not going to make a Shadow the Hedgehog movie. They're going to make it a show. They'll make the Shadow the Hedgehog video game into a show, and that'll be fine. It'll be a spin-off show. It'll work. I'll love it regardless. But the year 2024 was the year of Shadow. Hell yeah, it was. They put out so much merchandise and just like consumer products for Shadow, and like the DLC in the Sonic and Shadow Generations game, and this huge animation for it, and then the movie, and like Legos, and just all these collaborations for it. And I couldn't be happier. Growing up right now, being in this fucking timeline with Shadow the Hedgehog. And apparently in 2027 we're getting Sonic 4 and the next Godzilla and Kong movie, so that could be my Barbenheimer straight up. Please release those movies in the same day. You heard me, Paramount. And who makes that one? Other big massive company who makes Godzilla and Kong movies. I guess there's not that much else to go over. I genuinely could talk about all of these movies just a lot. I really liked all of the movies that I just named, even the honorable mentions. Like I should have just done this a list out of 10. Who cares? We're gonna ignore that. I gotta stop bringing it up. But it was just such a good year for movies, and to top it all off with Nosferatu there. It was beautiful. And I've watched like a ton of movies this year that weren't 2024, but I don't need to talk about them. I've already brought up The Lighthouse. Great movie. And yeah, I got a lot more where that came from on my channel here. I got another Let's Talk video coming out very soon, and I can keep banging out my movie, game, and anime reviews, because those I have a lot of fun doing. But until next time, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and get ready for 2025. It's going to be a good time. Stick around, hit the subscribe. See you later. Peace.